Welcome back to another episode of Mint to Vent Podcast News. My name is Jaime, and what I like to do on this channel, if you are new here, is give my thoughts and opinions, as strange as they are, on all this trendy news that happens all around the globe. And with that said, I would appreciate if you would hit that subscription and smash that like button, and let's get on with some of these vents on the headlines. So, I do have fun. I love conspiracies. They're just great. They're like so entertaining. I've talked about them many times before. Like, they're better than what's on TV sometimes. You want to find out some drama, go watch a conspiracy. You'll go down a rabbit hole. You'll be like, oh my gosh, and by the sixth or seventh video, I mean, you're starting to believe. You're like, man, why isn't this a Netflix series or something? You start tripping. Some of them videos will get you tripping. And some of them scary, like, paranormal rabbit holes will get you like looking out the windows or have all the lights on in your house. You ain't playing, But with all this, like, mystery about if we ever get the Epstein files and like the Diddy stuff that's happening and like other accusations of other people, there's been a lot of fun. I had fun with some of this, doing a little research on some conspiracies and things like that. So you hear about MK Ultra all the time, and you see videos of celebrities like glitching out or freezing up, in the middle of a conversation or an interview or a performance. Like even the lady who went on this supposed space flight, there was a part where she glitched out. She was all like, her eyes just started going all over the place and shit. Looked like she was about to be like in Total Recall, like 2 weeks up on stage, 2 weeks, something all weird. But there's another part they don't talk about too many times about the MK Ultra. There was a little branch, like branched off while this was happening, because it all started in 1953. The MK Ultra allegedly started in 53, but this was like a side project, almost like the side piece of the MK Ultra, right? So it started in like some secret dark alley in San Francisco. They found some old apartment and decided to hook it up with like two-way mirrors and microphones and things like that and cameras. And a lot of people say that it pushed the boundaries of a lot of, legalities and ethics, which it sounds pretty shady. Like, it sounds really illegal. Like, okay, you're just going to just film these people and not even tell anybody about it, right? So that's what brought me to, like, when they're talking about this Diddy stuff and the Epstein stuff and some of these other whistleblowers that are coming out, how they say that a lot of these things were happening. They would put these people in uncomfortable situations or sexual situations with whoever it is whoever the partner was, and then they would supposedly videotape this or photographs. It probably started with photographs, and then maybe it's got into the videos, and then they'd used it for like blackmail purposes. And so apparently this could be like the beginning. This could be like the Prometheus, of like what they're doing now. Like it could be like the pre-version of this, the prequel. And like this was all a test run, and it probably like, it got bigger and bigger. Like I said, to these powerful, whoever knows who's really running, the Epstein Diddy stuff in the background, who's all really involved. It could be some seriously high ups, or could be that this could be it, or this could be it. We could have already cut the, popped the head off the dandelion. This could be it. But allegedly this would happen, and they wanted this place to like simulate it was a brothel. So they would use ladies of the night, and they would lure men in here. And apparently when they would lure the men in, unbeknownst to them, maybe they think they're getting some more booze and drinking some more in the brothel, or what they thought was maybe the hotel or motel. And they were given large amounts of LSD. And so these guys supposedly would be on these drugs, and apparently these MK Ultra controllers, whether it was the CIA or whoever started it, were just there to observe. And what were they there to observe? Like watching these, like what I call acid sex tapes, like, like acid sex tape files. Like we need to talk about this on Rogan. Look, shout out to Rogan. Put me on there. We should talk about these acid sex tape files. But anyways, a man would go out and think what he was just going out to have some fun or have a wild night out of town, meets a woman, and little did he know, he's going to be tripping out his mind and like being videotaped the whole time while he was like tripping balls and like having freaky time. Like, oh my goodness, could you imagine, that, whoosh. And then, if you were a person, like it probably started with regular people, and they probably would use them and manipulate them to probably, do a secret mission or whatnot. But according to this, it gave them, intel to develop ways to control the mind. According to, the articles that you read and a lot of things that you read about this project Midnight Climax. So during these experiments, they say that they figured out that large amounts of this LSD led to like other experimental drugs, like possible truth serums, and also for more ways of mind control. So you see like stories of the Manson dude. You hear weird connections of like musicians back when the hippie love era started. They said that like Jim Morrison's father was in our government. Other musicians are, part of had government members and families and like the CIA and crazy things like that. When all this movement came out, when everybody was doing a lot of LSD, like it just popped out of nowhere, and you wonder if was that like Milk Does Body Good program, because there was that story where they said it was like stocks of dairy was all crazy and stocks was dropping down. And then they started the Milk Does the Body Good program. And like they made all these famous people get on board and they paid them money and controlled them, like you signed your contract. And so everybody's doing all these Milk Does the Body Good to sell all the milk. Like, was this one of those? Like, now we got all this LSD, let's sell this LSD. And so they made everybody be hippies and love the shit. Like, it could have been one of those type of PSYOP programs, when you think about this. And it's really wild because, they say it's like a mind expanding drug. And a lot of people claim, certain people like Timothy Leary, and you hear all these famous names when it comes to LSD. A lot of people claim it was mind expanding, and you would see other things like that. But maybe at high levels, it maybe altered your mind and like made you more controllable. And that's why these people would use them as, weapons for their, for whatever their needs were, whether these secret missions they were doing or assassinations or crazy things like that. That is really wild that the minds can be done this way, because you see a lot of things right now claiming that, when I did a previous episode, this brain technology can already, track our brains and things like that. But it all could have started from this prequel stuff here with this LSD stuff. It kind of, gave them all the intel. And then now with the AI, they're like, look, all you needed was to use this. They're like, damn, we was just using all these chemicals all the time. We was about to put it in the water with the fluoride, and we would have been unbeknownst to everybody. We would have been all shook up. But I feel like it's a serious abuse of power sometimes. And like I talk about the world stage, I'm gathering intel for Act 3 of the world stage, right? We're getting some more things coming through. A lot's happening every day. A lot's happening every week. Tensions seem to be flaring, between a lot of countries, a lot of people, because things are changing and they don't really want to do that. But we can only do what we can do as Americans. We can sit back and, stay strong, try to be together as much as we can. Same people with other countries, try to be strong, stay together, as much unity as you can, and try to hang on for this ride that's coming, because I feel like it's a weird change. I don't know what it is, but it's like something, they're trying to push something different. And it just feels like it's going to be weird. We're all going to be like, what is this shit? And we're probably going to have to do it. And I don't want to do it, but we're probably going to have to. Well, my name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. Till next time. See ya.